Okay, we're back with Gentleman Joe Manchetti. Joe, we're going to take a few phone calls.
Okay.
A few people have some things to say to you. Let me just make mention to the fans that, in all fairness, I have a few IFOC people that want to call in, and I have requested that, to make it an even Steven, that some members of ACE could call in as well. So far, none of them have.
I didn't tell any of them about it, particularly Arnie, because I didn't want him to ask me not to appear on the show. He would not have told me not to, but he might have asked me not to appear.
So you're doing this without Arnie Chapman's blessings, then, right?
I don't need Arnie's blessing to do anything. I appreciate that there is ACE for there to be events to compete in, but just like I didn't want the Shays to be my boss, Arnie is not my boss.
Okay.
I didn't want to put him in the position where he would ask me not to, and I might feel that I shouldn't out of loyalty to him.
Well, I personally feel that with the guidelines that I would set, if he did call into this show, he would go off like a total maniac.
Maybe.
Okay. We have you have made some comments in the past on Speedy regarding some of the competitive eaters in the IFOC, and one was Brian Subich. And we have Brian Subich on the line, and I think he would like to speak to you. He has a few things to say. Brian, are you there?
Hey, Brian, how are you?
Okay, Brian. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
Okay. Basically, I have Joe Manchetti here, and I know that both of you have had some, you've had some words via the internet. You haven't actually gotten together and, gotten each other's faces physically or verbally as far as that's concerned. But what do you have to say to Joe now that he's here on the firing line?
Well, Brian and Joe, I've actually been thinking about this since we talked about Joe coming on the show. And I was thinking about what I was going to say, and I sort of might surprise you what I'm going to say, but I wanted to thank Joe, actually. So, Joe, thank you. I wanted to give you a little bit of the credit. I remember back to the days of your old website, and I remember a comment you made or a statement when I was up in Saratoga, New York, and I remember I did very poorly. Only ate, I think, 12 hot dogs and buns, something along those lines, and you pretty much wrote my obituary as far as hot dog eating was concerned, and I remember driving home and thinking about that, and I love nothing more in life than when somebody tells me I can't do something. And so I wanted to thank you for giving me some motivation to up my game there.
You're welcome.
Brian, let me interject a second. Do you still have any feelings in your heart and soul right now to want to spit in Joe Manchetti's face again?
Well,
because
it
was a cross between.
It's like this.
Well, wait, Brian.
Says rude things about you. I'm not the type of person who forgets things. I remember those things, and I remember my friends as well as I remember, people who are rude and say rude things, and and so those things, while they may fade, through time, you certainly still don't ever forget.
Well, I appreciate that, Brian. You're taking the high road on that. But there was a cross, at one time there was a cross between punching him in the mouth and spitting in his face. Do you still feel, do you still hold those same animosities, or? That
was about, maybe 2 years ago, a year and a half to 2 years ago, roughly, somewhere around there. Probably would not take that route now. It probably at the time I would have when I said those things. I certainly won't back off of what I said.
Okay.
But like I said, with time, sort of, as time moves forward, you reevaluate things. It doesn't mean I changed how I felt back then, or that, like I said, that I forgot any of those things. But certainly may take a different route today.
Okay, Joe, you have anything to say on that?
Well, most of my he basically got caught up in flipping over to the dark side.
Okay.
And the shock and dislike of that. And then his reactions to the comments helped feed it as well. Plus, some of his actions helped fuel it as well, or lack of actions, is doing 12 or 13 hot dogs and in a pizza eating contest that he did semi-secretly ask the winner not to let us know about it. He fueled me.
Are you referring to the I don't know which one you're referring to. I think you might be referring to the cheesesteak contest.
Sorry, I barely know my stats, never mind yours. Okay, cheesesteak eating contest.
So, yeah, I think that might be, you might be getting your information crossed up there, but that certainly was never the case. Anything I've ever done outside of the IFOCE, I've made them well aware of.
They were aware of the cheesesteak eating contest?
Yeah.
Brian, you were mocked in that cheesesteak eating contest.
I talked to, who was it? George or Rich previously. I told them that I did this little side thing, and that was before I ever had made it to Nathan's. It was before Elka Seltzer. It was before any of that stuff. So.
Did you not ask?
I don't even think at the time I was ranked by the IFOCE. So.
I obviously thought he was set up in that contest. To be honest with you, I mean.
I don't even, like I said, Joe, I don't even think at the time, I don't even think I was ranked by the IFOCE. I don't think I had ever signed a contract at that period of time. I don't think I even had a contract with the IFOCE at that time. So,
I'm barely talking about the pizza eating contest that Coondog and Eddie the Geek. Well, I'm sorry, Coondog won and Eddie the Geek.
Pizza eating contest. I'm trying to think what year that is, because that's way back too. That was before I ever made Nathan's. That was before Elka Seltzer.
No, Brian, this was from Seekin, not you, that he was starting to mention unknowingly, I think, the pizza eating contest. What I was talking about was the cheesesteak eating contest that Broken Wing Pete, I can't remember his last name right now.
Nazario.
Did you not ask him not to mention that to anyone?
Joe, I don't know what I said that night. I know I was there after a baseball game, and having been at a baseball game and having the Pirates played that night, and had had a couple adult beverages, as we shall say, and my friend took me to the steak place down there, and did that, and so. Hey,
well, I originally
years
thought
ago, can you remember everything you've ever said after you've had a few drinks? Probably not.
Definitely not.
So, whether I did or didn't, I don't know. I mean, I'm lucky I know what I had for lunch yesterday, let alone what happened 3-4 years ago.
Okay. Well, Brian, it was good. It was good speaking with you. We're glad that you and Joe could sort of come to somewhat of an agreement after all these years. And we'll be seeing you soon at Shea Stadium, right?
Well, yeah, but before that, I'll be in Philadelphia for the Nathan's contest on the 26th.
Oh, you're doing one in Philly?
I'm sorry?
You're doing a Philly contest?
Yeah, I am doing the Philly contest. Yeah, that's my first one.
Okay, great. Okay, so we'll be looking forward to seeing you there. Brian, it was good talking to you.
Okay, thanks.
Joe, did you want to say something? Wait, hold on.
Good luck and be careful with the training.
Hey, thank you, Joe. Take care.
We'll be right back.